Premier Anastasia PALASZCZUK is on the Gold Coast today. She's meeting with tourism operators across the city to hear their frustrations and work on a recovery plan.
So in further good news for Queensland, I can report that there has just been one case overnight, taking our tally to 1,057. Our understanding is that the one new case is a female in Cairns, and she had been a passenger on the Ruby Princess. So we're monitoring that one very closely to work out if it's directly related to the Ruby Princess or whether it has been acquired in Cairns some other way. But at the moment we are thinking it is from the Ruby Princess. We've had over 176,000 tests, and we still only have 12 active cases in Queensland. And that is wonderful news as we approach Sunday, when we make decisions on what restrictions will be lifted for stage 2. It is excellent news to know that we are sitting on just 12 active cases in Queensland, which is a stark contrast to what's happening in other parts of Australia. Today I'm also very pleased to be on the Gold Coast. I'll be meeting with the Minister for Tourism, a range of stakeholders across the Gold Coast, be it both big employers and small employers. It's really important that we're here listening to the views of Gold Coast, and I know that people want to get up and running as quickly as possible, but we need to do it in a safe and measured way. It is absolutely vital that we do it in the safest way possible, making sure that we listen to the expert advice, which is of course from Dr. Young, but also to listening to the views of people here on the Gold Coast. So we'll be having a range of meetings. I look forward to meeting with the Mayor of the Gold Coast, Tom Tate, next. I'm here today joined with the Minister for Tourism and Geoff Hogg from STAR. And of course, STAR is one of the largest employers here on the Gold Coast. And of course, we're working with STAR to see how quickly in stage 2 and 3 we can open up restaurants and facilities here. And I really want to thank STAR for providing their COVID-safe plan to Dr. Young, and she'll be assessing that plan. But also too, Geoff just told me that the construction on the Dorset is going extremely well. In fact, it's now ahead of schedule, the construction work, because areas of the STAR have been closed due to the COVID restrictions. I just want to say this to everyone. I know how important tourism is, but tourism worldwide is struggling at the moment. It's not just Queensland, it's not just Australia, it's worldwide. And I want to see things opened as quickly as possible, but we must do it in the safest way possible. And that is why we will continue to listen to the expert advice.
Thank you, Premier, and thank you, Geoff. It's great to be back here at the STAR on the Gold Coast, a place that employs through the STAR more than 2,500 Queenslanders that at the moment are doing it very tough. I want to acknowledge and welcome the Premier coming to the Gold Coast today to meet one-on-one with operators. And as the Premier has said, today we'll be meeting with both large employers like the STAR here, but also small mum and dad operators in the tourism industry as well. As the Premier says, our government has invested heavily in tourism. We have spent more on tourism than any other government in the history of Queensland. We know that by investing in tourism, you do create jobs and economic activity in our state. But we also understand that our industry is doing it extremely tough right now. And it's great to have the Premier here to meet with operators, to listen to them one-on-one, particularly here on the Gold Coast. Also, as an industry, and I want to thank the staff for their leadership role in this regard as well, as an industry we've been working very closely with operators to ensure they have their COVID-safe plans in place. The government has been working hand in glove with the Queensland Tourism Industry Council and operators to ensure that when we are able to open, we open in a safe way. At the moment, the STAR already has their plan, as the Premier said, in with the Chief Health Officer, Jeanette Young. We're also working with the Queensland Tourism Industry Council to support all of the operators across Queensland to get their COVID-safe plans ready. So as restrictions are lifted in a safe way, they are in the best possible position to open their doors safely to the public. I'm looking forward to spending the day with the Premier, the Mayor of the Gold Coast and tourism industry leaders here on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, here at the Star, we've obviously, like a lot of tourism businesses, been impacted significantly by what's occurred. Back on the 23rd of March, we had 95% of our staff, our 2,500 people stood down. And I know they're really excited now that we've done such a good job as a state, and I congratulate the government in getting to this point that we can start opening a lot more, bringing our staff back into our facilities and giving those great customer experiences that we do across tourism in our state here in Queensland. So for us, we're very pleased that we've been able to develop our COVID safe plan that's being considered at the moment. That allows us to progress in getting a lot more of our team back into the property when the government approves that plan to progress further. I know, speaking to a large number of tourism operators across the state, we're all very excited about this next stage, and that the opportunity is going to be there for us to get our teams back, to get our customers coming and visiting our options, whether small or large, and great places and destinations like here at the Gold Coast, and we are ready. And I think that's the key message. We're excited, we're ready, we've got our plans in play. It's going to be even safer to come to all the tourism options around Queensland, whether small or large, from a safety perspective, both for our customers, for our employees, and of course for our communities. And I know I can also speak on a number of our suppliers. We rely a lot on local produce, local seafood to come into our properties, to be able to be activated and share that. I know our suppliers are also excited about the next stage as we start to get our businesses open and be able to progress further. Certainly here, one of the positives, like the Premier touched on, is our Dorset Hotel has been progressing. You can hear that construction in the background. We're the first Dorset Hotel, not just on the Gold Coast, but in Australia, is on track to open early in 22. So there's a lot of development progressing. Also for us at Queen's Wharf in Brisbane, there's developments that are exciting, but right now we're ready, we're working on our plans, we're working with industry to make it even safer to enjoy these amazing experiences that Queensland has to offer.
These are really hard decisions, everyone. I mean, I have sleepless nights. I understand people are hurting. I understand people have lost their jobs. I want to get people back into work as quickly as possible. But if I don't do it safely, it could cripple our industry for years to come and take us backwards. Now, no one wants to go back into a lockdown. We have to do it very quickly. So I say to New South Wales and Victoria, get your cases under control so we can open everything up. Queenslanders are doing the right thing. South Australians are doing the right thing. Western Australians are doing the right thing. We're seeing great results in Northern Territory, and we are flattening the curve and we're smashing the curve here in Queensland. And because Queenslanders are doing so well, it'll probably mean we'll be able to open up our cafes and restaurants a whole lot earlier. But also, let's not forget, just yesterday, schools went back. That is a huge issue for government. All the school children went back, and we need to make sure that everyone is doing the safe thing. So, you know, every day we look very carefully at all these sources of infections. We look at all the advice which is being provided to government, and we make the best decisions in the interest of the people of this state and their families. It would be negligent for any government leader not to be taking the interests of families first and foremost.